All right, so we're going to be reviewing the Around the World with Picture Books Part 2 from Beautiful Feet Books first. So this is what it looks like. This is the guide. And I feel like every time I get a new curriculum from Beautiful Feet Books, it's even better than the one before. I don't know how they're doing that, but I absolutely love their newest guides. They're so amazing. And I'm going to show you guys some through here. But basically, this will cover your literature, science through nature studies. It'll cover geography, art, and history, and I'm going to show you all those pieces. So if you were doing this, we use this for multi-level teaching. So we have kids ages preschool through 6th grade, and we use this for multi-level teaching. And I feel like it would be completely sufficient for the preschoolers and kindergartens and even up through like 3rd grade as far as their core curriculum. And then you could add on, you know, phonics and reading and writing and math to it. Although you can add notebooking, and I'll show you how we do notebooking for this. So that could even function for the writing for your little ones. And then the older kids, obviously, they do, this is an add-on to what they do, but they absolutely love it. My kids love it. All right, so just to give you some stats on this, this is volume 2. So there's a volume 1, and I'll leave you guys a link to volume 1, the volume 1 review that I did, where I went in detail through what that looks like. And that was so much fun that we wanted to do part 2. So this one includes 70 lessons. So it will cover a semester if you did 4 lessons a week, which for us was a bit much. We did 2 to 3 lessons, which would cover a whole year. And we even did that every other week. I wasn't in a hurry, you know, I wanted to stretch this out and enjoy it and dig deep and, you know, follow the rabbit trails that it provided and check out the extra books and everything. And so we took our sweet time through this. And I mean, there's still certain countries we haven't even gotten to yet. And so we are looking forward to doing those in the coming year. All right, so let's see. This is a Charlotte Mason inspired curriculum, as all of the Beautiful Feet Books curriculum is, and you'll see what I mean as I go through it. Okay, so one of my favorite things about these books, especially these newer guides that Beautiful Feet Books does, is that they're just beautiful. I'm hoping this will come through. I always have to adjust, but they're just beautiful. I spend time looking through them when we get them. They have beautiful artwork. They give you lots of resources that you can do in addition. It's just the photography is really well done. It makes it a pleasure to use as a homeschool mom. And that might seem like a small thing, but it's kind of nice. It's nice to have beautiful curriculum that just that you enjoy as you're going through it with your kids. So this particular volume covers 11 countries. Let me get to the table of contents here. So it covers France, Spain, Holland, Italy, Sweden, Denmark, Great Britain, Ecuador, Brazil, Peru, Chile. And then at the end, I'll show you in a minute, they have nature drawings and art drawings that we use for our notebooking. So you see at the very beginning, they'll tell you all the things you need. There's some books that you need. I'll show you guys those in a minute. You need some basic art supplies, colored pencils. They tell you you can get watercolor paper if you need to do extra art. We just use regular paper, especially for my little ones. You'll do notebooking, and I'll show you what the notebooks look like. So you can see that picture. In my video of volume 1, I showed you guys in detail the notebooks we use. So the pack comes with this one little notebook. You can buy extras from Beautiful Feet Books. And it's just a plain notebook, okay? So you can get that. We also use just the regular composition books a lot. And so with volume 1, that's what we did. We had composition books for all the kids except for the one, you know, the lucky one that got this one. But I realized that having, you know, 5 composition books for art and, you know, with all the other subjects that we're covering too, or for art, for the geography curriculum, it was making me a little twitchy. So I was like, I don't want to do that this time. So what we did is my older kids do the notebooking. My younger ones don't. So basically, if they're grades 2 and up, they do some kind of notebooking. It can be really simple. It can be more complex. I require my older kids to write at least 1 sentence per grade level, basically, that they are. But it can be really simple. But what I ended up doing instead of using the notebooks for this year, or this last year, was I just did loose sheets like this. So you can see I got 2 examples out of their notebooks. So I just gave them loose sheets, and they cut out the pictures from the back for what we were studying, and they wrote in some notes. This one is for my second grader, and she dictated this to me because she had some other writing going on in her school that month, and so I didn't want to overextend her. So you can do that. So I had her color the pictures and cut them out and paste them in, and then she dictated to me what to write. This one was about Don Quixote, and this one was about Iberian wolves, okay? And so the older kids, they do the same thing, except obviously they write it on their own, and they write in more detail, and we'll find supplementary videos. A lot of them are suggested in the guide to watch, you know, different pieces, and I'll show you where you guys get that in the back. So that's what we did. Just a word of caution, if you do the loose leaf style instead of the bound books, you know, just make sure that their notebooks are nearby. And that you put those pages away. You teach them, you know, and get them in the habit of putting those pages away in their notebooks right away, or else, you know, loose leaf pages can make you twitchy too. I know from experience. Anyway, so those are that's what the notebooking looks like. And you can do that for the entire lesson that you're doing, or you can just do it for the pieces that they prompt you on, which is what we did this time. Another main resource for this one is called Art Masterpieces to Color, 60 Great Paintings from Botticelli to Picasso. And so you can see on the front, and basically it uses really nice paper on the inside. You can photocopy these for your other kids. So what I tended to do, usually there's a couple of these per lesson that you can use. So I would pull those out and give them to my younger kids. And then for my older kids, I would photocopy them because they didn't, you know, they knew better than to like put a whole bunch of water on the paper and ruin it. So here's an example of what that looks like. So the one word of caution I want to give you is, see, that's just nice. I want to paint that. And there's nothing wrong with you as the mama just pulling these out and painting them yourselves. So you might want to get multiple copies, but I found that making photocopies of them for my big kids was totally fine. And we 3-hole punched those and put those in their notebooks too. Here's some examples. These are the ones that my younger kids did for Spain. This is El Greco. And this is, it has the words down here, is Salvador Dali. My kids thought he was really weird. So anyway, that is what that's like. One word of caution though about these, the Art Masterpieces to Color. If you are a family that is concerned about artwork that has nudity in it, and I know that there's a lot of us and there's nothing wrong with that, that's why God made Sharpies. So you can take Sharpies and go through here. You'll find in the guide when they have different panels with different kinds of artwork showing that sometimes you'll see that too. So if that's a concern to you, I would go through those and use your Sharpies. Okay, another main resource. This one was used in the last volume 2. This book is amazing. This book is worth having on hand no matter what. This is called Maps, and obviously, and it has beautiful maps. And I'm going to show you inside of that in a minute. I'm going to show you guys some of the books that, or most of the books that came with this curriculum. And then I'm going to go through what one of the lessons was like for us when we went through Spain, which was the first one we went through. Okay. All right. So I just want to show you some of these. Here's Anno's Journey. There are 3 or 4 of these this time in volume 2. In volume 1, we went through Anno's China, and that was when we were kind of introduced to it. Again, these are just treasures. They're the most beautiful, detailed illustrations, and hidden throughout it are references to famous art and events and history and different cultural aspects of whatever country. I think this one is actually, oh yeah, this is a tour of Europe. So this one is a little bit more generic. The other ones, there's an Italy one and a Spain one. I can't remember the other one. We'll get to it. But these are really amazing. We spent hours, you know, throughout the months looking at these. And at the back of a lot of them, you will see information. So you would open up to the page. Well, I'll show you with the next one. Okay. So for each country, you have these fun books to read through with your kids, and the guide will prompt you through different discussions you can take with these and different things you can explore. There's, you know, cuisine you can make together. Every single one of the Beautiful Feet books that we've ever gotten, we have loved, and my kids have made a treasure. I tell you guys, it's hard to find these after a while, after you've had them in your house. So, you know, you want to keep them, you want your kids to be able to enjoy them, but you also want to have things on hand in order to do the lessons. So just be a little careful until you've gone through the lessons not to leave them out. So this one is Anna's Italy. So Anna's Italy, you can see these beautiful detailed pictures, and then in the back he gives you information about each one, just a little, it's like in a narrative form. So it tells you what he was exploring, what he saw, what was interesting to him, any, you know, particularly interesting things to look for. We love the beauty that Beautiful Feet books brings to our homeschool. I love to read through these with my kids and find new treasures. Now, a lot of these, you can find them at the library. Not all of them, but a lot of them, or some of them you can find used. This is Wings for Purr. This is all the ones that were published specifically by Beautiful Feet books are more exclusive. So if you can't find, if you decide that you don't want to get the whole literature pack for these and you want to go to the library, go ahead and get as many as you can. But do buy the ones that you can't find at the library. Get them used or buy them on the Beautiful Feet book site. Personally, I, you know, with a lot of kids and being a busy mom and, you know, having issues with getting to the library when I need to, I get the whole pack and I see it as an investment in our family library, and I'm never disappointed in the book selections there. So to me, it's worth it. This is something that really adds to our homeschool experience, so it's totally worth it to me. Oh, Denmark, that was the other one they had monos for. So my kids just love these. And when you order from Beautiful Feet Books, you can, they have a policy, and I'll leave you guys the exact wording, but they have a policy that if you have some of the books, you can, I think it's up to 5, that you can have it deducted off the order. So they only send you what you know, actually need. We've had that a few times where we had certain books that we already had on hand. And they're so beautiful. Some of them are hardback and some of them are soft. But I love the illustrations. They always have the most gorgeous illustrations and they just captivate my children's attention. Okay, so here's a couple more. These are the ones that were for Spain. We also had Ferdinand that we did for Spain, and I couldn't for the life of me find that one. That one's like well loved. So it's around here somewhere. So I'm gonna show you guys what a lesson looks like in this curriculum. So for Spain, I get my materials, my books, I open it up to Spain, and it has lesson 1, lesson 2, it goes through all the lessons, and it gives you the text for the lesson to do with your kids. Now, what I tended to do is I would read ahead, just skim ahead, make sure that I had what I needed on hand, which wasn't much. I needed to make sure I had the books I wanted. I wanted to make sure that I had, you know, the art supplies or whatever that I needed. And for some of the cuisine stuff, if we wanted to do that, I had to plan ahead for that. That wasn't as easy to do on the fly, you know. But let me just walk you through some of these. So here's lesson 1. It says, the first thing is open the inside front cover of maps and locate Europe. Sing the continent song while pointing to the 7 continents. Then turn to the following page and find Spain. Discuss its location with Europe. So it starts right off the bat going through the geography of it. So then it says turn to pages 32 to 35 of maps and study Spain. And it just talks about exploring it, and it gives you several landmarks to look at. So I'm going to show you what that looks like because this book is awesome. So we would open up this book and we would crowd around and we would spend time looking at it. So this is going to be challenging. I'll show you guys. Oh, that works. So you see, this is Spain, and it has all these beautiful detailed pictures of different cultural aspects or, you know, landmarks. It has all sorts of things. The flamenco dancer was my daughter's favorite. There's Don Quixote and Sancho. Just all sorts of stuff. It has the flag. It has different animals that you can look at. And you will see throughout it, they will reference this as they go through the lessons and the artwork. So you will come back to this and explore it a lot, and your kids will become really familiar with just what they can find to explore in Spain. So that was really fun to do. We spent a lot of time doing that. And then some of the lessons will say, you know, start with this book. Like this one says, introduce a story of Ferdinand. And so it will recommend, a lot of times in the text, it will recommend extra videos that you can go watch online. It will say, you know, go find such and such video on YouTube, or go find this book to read about this to explore it further. Here, was really interesting this time around. So this is Passport to Spain. So it lists a whole bunch of pieces of art and landmarks and all sorts of things that you can explore, and then it has the pictures over here. So what we did with this is we explored the pictures together as a family, and then we picked the ones that we wanted to explore further, and we went and found additional resources online to explore them. Here's a little bit more. And a lot of the lessons subsequently will reference back to a lot of those. But we spent a lot of time, a couple weeks actually, just exploring all of those resources and finding new things to learn about these different aspects of Spain. Then it starts digging into Anno Spain. There's Anno Spain. So, you know, it has you open up to certain panels, and I'm trying to remember which one exactly. I think, yeah, this one. So here's one of the first pages, and it tells you to open it up, and at the back, like I showed you, there's the information about it from Anno, you know, to tell you what to explore from his angle. And then in the guide, it gives you some more things to explore. So it says, you know, go find in this picture the clock from Dali's painting. And so the kids all hunted around from youngest to oldest, so the oldest didn't spoil it, and they found it. And so, and then they explored, and we just made observations about it. We talked about the different art techniques that were used in the book. There were all sorts of hidden things, and in each picture, you were supposed to be able to find Anno in each one traveling along. We didn't always find him, but we had fun trying. So that was always a lot of fun. A lot of the books, or a lot of the, actually I think every single country, it has these additional books. So it calls it the library connection. So you can go check out additional books about, here's one about Picasso. These are worth exploring, and it gives you some information about what to explore in that book and the things you can find and what extension activities it will provide. So you can really extend this curriculum quite well. There's a couple pages of that. And then they have the nature connection. That's right here. The nature connection in this book studies some of the animals associated with Spain in this lesson. So up here you can see, you know, you've got the map out and you are cutting out the pieces. I'll show you where those are in a minute. And you have a flag, and there will be an outline, there it is, of Spain. And they'll paint these, and then they'll put them in their notebooks, and then they'll notebook about them based on the information. So this one, it gave some information about each of the animals, and then you can explore further if you want. So if you go in the back of the book, see, if you see the guide, about the back half are these reproducible printables. See, here's animals for France. So it goes through animals for each of the countries, and then the outline of the country and the flag. So here's the one for Spain. And I would just photocopy these and have them cut it out, and they'd color them while I would read to them about the animals. And sometimes we would look up videos and stuff about the animals. And they would color Spain, and sometimes they would take their maps book, that big maps book, and add different features from it that were their favorites, and they would color in the map. And then if you go back a bit farther, there's artwork. So here's Spain. You can see that top one is one from the notebook I showed you. So you can copy these and cut them out and put them in your notebooks and notebook about them a little bit. And the kids really enjoy that. It's a simple activity, but you know, you can extend it or keep it as simple as you like. Then we have at the end Spanish cuisine, where they can make different things. It has the recipes right in there. Salmorejo, cold Spanish tomato soup with serrano ham. So it gives you the recipes for doing it. If they're too complicated, this one is actually pretty simple. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. But if it's, you know, too complicated, you can always go look up a similar recipe that's simplified. And that is basically what a lesson looked like for us for Spain. So we love this curriculum. We found it really I learned a lot as we were doing it. We enjoyed each other's, conversation and all the discussion we had about these different things. We asked lots of questions and went exploring and found all sorts of new things. It is a beautiful curriculum for your family, so I highly recommend checking it out.